Okay, now to use the WSG forms, it's actually pretty simple. The first thing you're going to have to do is go ahead and register, and then the next thing you're going to have to do is go ahead and log in. So for instance, we're going to go ahead and do that now. Now, one of the things about the forms is that there's some that are open to the public and that there are some that are absolutely closed. Closed ones are actually like the WSG Executive Board, the Goals Committee policy papers. What that is basically is that they're they are forms that basically are for those representatives only. So for like the policy papers, only the two schools that are part of the policy papers would be considered to be in that one, unless specified otherwise by WSG. The same with the executive board, those sort of forms. But what the main ones are is for WSG members, Assembly Watch, Senate Watch, and Advocate Watch. Now, these may change depending on what WSG standards dictate, but these are kind of the basic ones. Now, you can go ahead and read through these ones because they are open to the public. So, for instance, District Board legislation, and has anyone heard new District Board legislation, yada yada yada. But now, if you want to go ahead and post something, so if you wanted to post a response, you can see right now that you can't. So what you want to do is go ahead and log in. And then you go to WSG Forms. And then you can see that for the WSG Advocate Watch, you can go to the District Board legislation. If there was something new in there, it would be greenlit. And so you can see, here's the topic. This topic is on District Board legislation, and you could go ahead and post a response to that. This is really great because sometimes it's really hard for multiple schools to pay attention to multiple things. So the goal for this is basically that somebody can start a topic, and if somebody sees something, they can go ahead and respond to that information, maybe point somebody into the right direction. So this is really helpful stuff. It's pretty close to the same thing as writing an article. There are some limitations to it that we've put in there intentionally, but you can go ahead and write your message and submit those messages. So you can go ahead and, for this one, for testing purposes, I am replying to this message. And then go ahead and submit. And you can see now that there's been a message replied to it. Another thing you can do is go ahead and add new topics. So for instance, say there's something in the assembly. We'll say we want to discuss Wisconsin higher education grant funding that's in the assembly. So we can go ahead and put new topic, subject, WHEG grant assembly watch. This topic is to talk about let's go assembly in regards to WHEG and there is a limit there, so that's why it kind of cut off. And then we can go ahead and post the starter topic. Has anyone heard of any legislation issues regarding the WHEG grant funding and the disparity between Wisconsin higher education grant funding between the UW and WTC system. And then you can go ahead and submit. And what this does is it basically does starter topics, things that you might not know that maybe you want somebody to go ahead and post information about. So you go back to index, we go to the assembly watch, and we see, oh, there it is. And so we can go ahead and then somebody can come in and post a reply to that. It's really a basic system. It works wonderfully. The thing about it, and this is with all WSG materials, is that you want to keep it very professional because these topics are open topics as of right now. Those may change depending on WSG standards, but for right now, these are open ones. These ones will probably be closed to only committee members, and that's just basically for the protection of the organization. So we look forward to using the forums. We hope that you get use out of it. We hope that you communicate more about things inter school wise, and just hope that it's a valuable resource to you.